Well, for more, Phil Robertson joins us now from Bangkok. He is the Deputy Asia Director of Human Rights Watch. Hi, Phil. Thanks for speaking to us. Do you have a problem with this campaign?
Well, yes, I do. This is incredible. It shows the levels of deceit that the Australian government is prepared to use in order to stop people from traveling there by boats. I mean, this is a campaign of psychological warfare. They're trying to use horoscopes against people, asylum seekers and others who might want to leave the country and try to travel to Australia.
But they're going to argue that the levels of deceit perpetrated by people smugglers will be far more dangerous and damaging. I mean, some might actually see this as a kind of creative and harmless way to prevent illegal immigration at its source and stop people from risking their lives and, paying dangerous illegal smugglers to traffic them across water.
Well, the fact that some of these people are asylum seekers and legitimate refugees who have made a decision that they're going to try to move somewhere else seems to be lost on the Australian government. The reality is Australia, as a signatory of the UN Refugees Convention, has the responsibility to receive people, whether they've come by boat or by plane, and to give them a fair shake on whether they're a refugee or not. Australia has been violating those rights for now several years, and detaining people in Nauru and in Papua New Guinea in horrible conditions. So, I mean, I don't see anything funny about it. I think it's actually quite sinister that they have come up with fake horoscopes to try to persuade people not even think about exercising their rights.
Right, but now you have other leaders, including President Trump, commenting that this is actually a great idea. So do you fear that there might be other campaigns following these lines?
Well, I think the fact that President Trump thinks this is a great idea is probably the best argument against it. Donald Trump has been violating human rights of migrants and refugees from day one of his administration. His endorsement is hardly something to seek. I think that, in fact, we have the Australians and the Americans trying to outcompete themselves on who they can treat refugees and asylum seekers worse. It's a shameful race to the bottom, and this horoscope ruse is the only sort of slightly amusing thing about the entire process.
Let me ask you though, Phil, for those who are not fleeing for their lives, for those that are simply just looking for better opportunities, and don't really understand what the risks they're taking are when they sign on with illegal people smugglers, okay? The torture that they can endure, losing their lives, losing their children's lives. What do you suggest is a good way to discourage them from trying this journey in the first place when their lives at home aren't really in danger?
Well, I mean, you've set up a number of different sort of possibilities here in talking about whether someone's a real asylum seeker or not. The reality is there is an existing process to determine whether they are or not. And, the idea that somehow people, because they're coming from a certain country like Sri Lanka, are all migrants seeking a better life in a different country simply doesn't hold water. The problem is that Australia is trying to prevent all people from exercising their right to refugee status determination and from the right to seek refuge.
Okay.
And the game that's being played is to conflate everybody as a legal migrant rather than a refugee.
Phil Robertson, thank you so much for joining us there from Bangkok. We really appreciate it. That is all.